Well, hello everyone. Welcome into Flying with Mike. Yeah, we're going to kick it off about 15 minutes early. I know I said 30 minutes, but you know what? Hey, we're usually late, so what the heck? Let's go a little early. Actually, we are still late. But anyway, just kind of giving you this grand look here as we are in Alaska one more time. We've got the C40. Okay, a modified C40. C40s are usually BBJs, which are the 737-700 version. There are some that are like this in the 800 version, and they would be off the BBJ2. But we're up here in the basically the middle of the state, Eielson Air Force Base, and home of Red Flag, Alaska. No, we're not participating in that. You don't see many people on the line. Oh, there's a reason for that. You know what? That guy, that loose nut behind the wheel, got at it again. Forgot to get online. And we got to wait on VATSIM for all these new security protocols. And there we go. So let's see. I think we're kicking out early. So let me get a time here. Let's just do it there. All right, and we are a Performance C aircraft. Okay, got everything filled in except for the right CELCAL number, which they won't use here. And we're filed and connecting. Just a few things to get set up here since I was remiss in getting this part done. All right, so we are now online, as you can tell up there in the corner. Folks, like I said, we're at Eielson. This is the home of Red Flag, Alaska. A lot of stuff goes on out of this base. As you can tell, a lot of stuff can fit on this base, and it's meant to be. It's like the Nellis of the North. Nellis handles Red Flag. Well, they do Red Flag up here in the cold. So, and you get Red Flag in the desert in Vegas. High desert, that is. All right, so let's kind of zoom in and take a look at this ZIBO 737. Um, yes, we are in XP12, and as always, looking great. Oh, allergies, allergies, allergies. When you have great weather like this in the Midwest, for me at least, my allergies just go nuts. But anyway, so here it is, folks, the ZIBO 737. You all are going, wow, looks just like one. Yeah. We hop up in the cockpit here and wow, they're going, whoa, that kind of looks like PMDG. Yeah, very PMDG-esque, not PMDG, but on the caliber and in some arena better than others, not so much. I mean, just like this outdoes PMDG, PMDG outdoes it in some other areas. So I hate to break it to you folks, but it's a good aircraft in a simulator that doesn't break the bank to start with, and the aircraft is free. Let me pause for a second for y'all to get back off the ground. Yes, I said free. So it's a shame what you pay over in that other sim. All right, so anyway, we will continue on. So like I said, we're in ZIBO. Let's get this fired up. We are headed to Elmendorf, which is basically about a 200 or so mile run. So it's really not a long run. We may do some approaches down there. We'll see how things are going. More to me, the weather is what will be the key factor, as any time in Alaska. So, still getting my bearings here, folks. All right. Wow. Okay, so let's get this bird going, shall we? Let's bring up Sim Toolkit and get rid of some things here and pull that up. Oop, I hit the wrong one again. Sorry, folks. Boy, I've been doing that here a lot. All right, so here's Sim Toolkit giving you the flight summary here. Off to the side here, you see the departure point, arrival point, shows your full route here if you'd like, all the little fixes, or you can collapse it. That's a pretty cool feature. We'll get to some other better ones. By the way, this is good for all simulator platforms that I'm aware of out there. Prepared, MSFS, and X-Plane, and I think a couple of others that may be out there, but don't quote me on those, but those three for sure. Um, Another great tool here, folks. You know, in the flight sim world, when you hear the word free, you don't hear it much, especially in other sims. But really, overall, you don't hear the word free for quality. So that's why we run with it. Now, Volanta is comparable to it. I just got used to this quicker and don't use Volanta for that reason. I'm just used to this. So, however, they've gotten some interesting tools, if you will, in their kit that I may explore and see if I can use without, see what I can do with it. All right, and again, remember, folks, what you see on this Sim Toolkit, well, minus NavGraph down here, is free. All right, so we are sitting on the line here. Oh, excuse me. 70 GIs are going to be heading down to Elmendorf. We got 107,000, just under 108,000 on the zero fuel weight. We're going to have the fuel guys upload 10,000 pounds of fuel. We're going to go with a cost index of 80, and yes, we're going to head up to the mighty, mighty 39,000. If we had better weather, I might opt for a lower flight level. But it's cloudy, I believe, all the way down. So, all right, so that takes care of that. Let's head over to the weather reports. Here in good old Eielson, PAEI, winds are 160. You can kind of see the reflection here with the runway, what kind of crosswind we're dealing with. It's 5 knots, so it's not too bad. 10 miles and 3,200 feet. The good thing here, although looking out that little speck of the wheel, you're not getting a good one. Out the specks of these windows here, folks. You know, when you see few clouds or scattered, I should see some blue because there's no ceiling set here. You know, it's welcome to default weather. 12 degrees up here, folks. For Alaska, that's a pretty good day. Especially, actually, that's kind of a little bit on the, I think we call it almost chilly here in the summer because they do see some warmer temperatures. Folks, remember, we are about 60 miles, I think it is, from total sunshine. So, you know, that could be a little chilly in my mind. But anyway, that's just me. I've never been up to Fairbanks, so I don't know. All right, heading down towards the Elmendorf, which is in Anchorage. We got a northerly wind at 5. Again, not bad. We're planning runway 6. If we have to circle to land to 24, we'll do it. Currently, the NOTAMs have 16 and 3-4. 16, yeah, that's right. Out of service. So, and again, few clouds. Now here we are picking up a ceiling at 4,400 and 5,500. So that's why I'm saying we'll see how it actually translates to it. A little chillier down there too, by the way. All right, so there we go, folks, and there's our weather brief. Now, one thing one thing you can do with Sim Toolkit is tag in these things. Now, SkyVector is the one you can get all the time. I have to refresh mine for some silly reason. I don't know why. But, you know, if you've got SkyVector, folks, I highly recommend that for flight planning. You've got different maps up here. You can go from the en route high, en route low. You can go VFR world, which means what world maps on here do is take your individual maps, those uh, uh, low en route 3, high en route 1, uh, and in those lows or those highs, they mesh them together. So they form a continent to where it's contiguous. Otherwise, you get the chart. That's it. But if you go world low, you get all of it together. Now, there's a little, you know, you expect it. It doesn't necessarily all the time mesh up right, but hey, folks, that's awesome right there. That I can see the airways for the most part all the way down. Same with world high for the high guys above 18,000 usually, or you get the en route chart, the actual en route chart for that. We'll go back to world high. But anyway, it's a really neat chart. I like world VFR only because I can get an idea of the terrain I'm following. You know, this is some very mountainous country in Alaska. And I actually really like flying in it. I actually sometimes will take the Hercules up, run the low routes just to get into those canyons and all. Today we're just going to bring the 737 back. So, all right, so you got that. Then you can bring these on board using this cog here. The help files here will really help you get it. Here we go with, and I like again on this one to have it in VFR. We need to unload and pull up our latest. See what the terrain looks like, folks. So, yeah, that's one of the things I like when we have a nice day up here, just getting in there and flying it. Um, so there's the route. Now for the departure today. Don't have a departure? Huh, I wonder why it didn't put it down there. Anyway, usually if you put in Hoplo 3 in this case, um, it'll not only put it up here in your routing, but also put the chart down here for you to pull up. So you can see our departure. We'll just do it the way we all are used to. 127.1 is our departure with Fairbanks, 550 or 48 for our altitude of the airfield, 18,000. It's North America, folks. Transition. Now this is an RNAV departure, so we're going to just go out to Haplo and then bank off a little bit to the left and head for Big Delta. Allen Army Airfield is where a lot of the red flag Alaska evolves around. So you've got your blue force, your red force. They attack each other, simulations, and I mean, this is where things they really get with other groups of countries and integrate, learn how what they do, how we do it, and come to some agree. You know, get a good training scenario out of it. So I'd love to go out and watch them once on the range. So, but so you can see it again. Transition, Hoplo, left turn 116 to big VOR. Boom, piece of cake. Obstacles we got to worry about, standard for our minimums, and trees from there are 3/7 left on center line, AGL 650. So we got to make sure we get a good climb going out of there to clear them. And then you can see what kind of terrain we're looking ahead at. All right, and that's our departure brief, folks. You know what? Hang on. Let me do one more thing here. Get rid of that. That's another thing you can overlay. All right, and taxi-wise from here, we'll just come out, head up to Fox, onto the runway at Alpha. Gives you an idea, though, what this air base is like. It's a big base, folks. All right, let's get rid of Sim Toolkit. And let's get flying. Ooh, wait a minute. There we go. Hit the right button again. There we go. All right, let's get flying, shall we? All right, checklist time. Okay, we are on ground power. We got the lights already set for the ground, which is nav set to steady, and the logo light on. Everything else off. Ground power is on and showing up here. Here, let me just make it a little easier on the eyes. And our AC/DC switch on ground power. Fuel pumps are off, trim air's on, and our isolation valve open. Okay, we know we're going to 39. And I believe 250 is what we need to set for anchorage. We'll worry about the arrival brief. There's what I'm looking for. We're looking for 213. So let me go to 200. There we go. And we are set up here, folks. So let's go to the very top of the overhead panel. Get some quick tests. These two are the hardest. Very hard to hear them. Let me try something. Let me see if I need to turn the volume up a little. Yeah, I do. And if you hear that voice or you feel your stick shaking in your hands, folks, that does mean you're getting ready to stall. You laugh that I say that. You know how many pilots in air don't recognize that? And that's sad. A couple of crashes, folks, attributed to that. All right, so left and right IRS mode. First thing I do is take the display selector, move it to heading status. And what that does is it tells you how long to alignment. Got the on DC. As we get aligned, we'll move it to nav. Same thing for the right one. 10 minutes, folks, 10 minutes. All right, and we're set there. Moving on down. Let's see, cabin, utility, and IFE are set to on. Our emergency lights are armed. Equipment cooling, normal. Exterior lights, like I said, all we have are the steadies down. This is a 3-position switch right here, folks. Down is just steady. If you take it to the middle, it's off. To the top, strobe and steady. So that's your white anti-collisions out on the end. Private pilot training, I can tell you right now, boy, they mess with you here. This is actually your red light, your beacon, as we called it. Oh, do they mess with your mind. All right, and then we'll hit the cross feed real quick. Now, all I'm doing is making sure the lights turn to light blue and then back off. Okay, and exterior anti-collisions, window heat, that's right here. They're on. Probe heat's off. Anti-ice off. Right now we have the electrics off, the engine's on for the hydraulics. And currently the air stair is out, forward door open, and the 2 cargo doors on the first officer side open. Okay, let's come down here and start putting in the IRS position that it's asking for. Now, one kind of pitfall, it's to me not bad. I know some pilots relish and really need those 3D pop-out gate or windows here. Hey folks, it's not just X-Plane makes it easy for you to set up windows that you can go to. Need them. It's real easy, folks, and that's what I do to get a better, and then all I got to do is zoom and tilt, and I'm there. Okay, so FMC. Ooh. Tomorrow, folks, we update the RNAVs, or ARNIC. So be ready for that with the FMSs, folks. Man, cannot get rid of this frog today. Okay, once you've confirmed everything is correct here, go to position. And we are at, where are we? Papa, Alpha, Echo, India. Now, if you're so inclined, put the gate. That'll narrow it down. They don't have such things here. Or you can go to the next page. Take one of these. Today is an even day, so I'll go with the right side. So I'll just click the line select, come back, punch it in, and that just narrows it down even further to where I'm at. Route. Punch that in, then Papa, Alpha, Echo, Delta. And today we are reach 18. Not 15, 18. All right, next page. Okay, today's routing will be just like you see there. We'll just put big 167 DONEL to HOJOE. Go from there, okay? So we'll put in big. I gotta pull up a chart real quick because okay, 64 by 145, 64. There it is, 1490 confirmed. All right, and then where did it go? J167. Hopping off at the DONEL, DONEL transit or fix, and then direct HOJOE or HOJOE. Sorry, HOJOE. And technically, you can activate. And what we'll just do is come up here, get our departure off of runway 14, the hop low, and we're going to big. Execute. Legs. Do a quick look. Everything looks good on the legs page. That's really all the legs there are to this, folks. It's really not a long run. Again, 266 miles. Plan about 270, because actually there is a arrival here, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in because things could get moving here. So we'll put in Jinx, HOJOE, And then deciding on the approach. That is always the fun one. So let me bring Sim Toolkit in here. There it is. All right, so back to flights. Now here's something that's pretty cool about this. Now I have already kind of started it. I've got us on the Jinx 1A or 1 arrival from HOJOE. The other transition is cruise somewhere right in here, folks. And basically they take you from altitude down. Okay, so you better be ready to be descending or already, you better have your stuff ready to go, because HOJOE, I believe, when we take a look at this, is 35,000 feet. Okay, 35 to 26, so it gives you that room. And again, you can see why. You're in the mountains here, and these aren't your little pipsqueak Appalachia or mountains. We're talking, these are mountains, folks. 10,000, 412, 12,000, 11,000 foot mountains all around here. So you're going to have to make sure you're above those levels at those points. But there's plenty of room. So it's not like we're nose diving down to get into Anchorage. But we're going to be pretty close. No. All right, so that's our arrival. So HOJOE, Dexter, above 11. Tidby, above 10. Jinx, 18,000 to 7,500. Again, all it said is to be above, okay? But I'm going to aim for 7,500. And then I aim for the lower number so that we're at 7,000 at roots. And then wrench, 6,000 to 4,500, allowing me to get down to 2,500 for the initial into Elmendorf. And possibility, folks, that we may have to circle to land or come in with a tailwind. That's always there. Currently, we are going to plan runway 6. Who knows? We may do a couple approaches and maybe do a circle to land. So let's now take a look at the differences here. So when you're trying to figure out, well, what kind of approach am I going to do? Usually that is assigned by approach. However, on a 200-mile flight, folks, sometimes it's not a bad thing to have it ready. Okay? So I see from wrench, we have the RNAV available. So see how it's showing you how things line up here? You see the X-ray. I don't like that one. Let's try Yankee. Don't like that one. Let's try Zulu. Okay, now that's coming in from Henson to Snow. We're going to go with Zulu. So we'll add that to the route, and it connects it in. That's one thing I really like. It gives you that visual to see how each of these approaches interact with it. Now, some stars require RNAVs, so you're going to have to play with the RNAV. I'm going to go with the ILS. All right, so we're looking at the ILS Zulu runway 6. And if y'all noticed, there it is, put down here. Looking at it real quick, it's 110.3, 62, 1,600 feet at 6.5 miles out, Skia. Then in we go. See what it says for circling. This is when this side becomes usable, folks. So if you're circling to runway 6, 16, or 24, remember, currently 16 and 34 are out of service. So if we're going to 6 or 24, well, from 6 or 20, you get it, we have to have minimums of this. So our visibilities have to be for index C, looks like 2 miles, and 840 feet MSL, 627 above the ground, 700 feet. For the ILS itself, we have to have an 200 and a half mile or an RVR of 18. All of that's fine right now. Just giving you not authorized south 624. Okay, so yeah, they don't want you circling over the city, so we circle to the north. Okay, and that is why this is, unfortunately, yes, NavGraph charts is a payware item, folks, as is the NavGraph FMS updates to keep your different payware aircraft's FMCs up to date, McDoos and FMCs. So it is what it is there, folks. That's a lot of time and work to get that information kept up to date, and they do a great job at NavGraph. So hats off to them. And they get the approaches and all of that. I mean, there's a lot of data, folks, in that RNAC. All right, so pull that away, and it's gone. All right, so now we know we're going to be doing the Zulu. Tyson, execute. And you can do a hit fix instead of legs. Okay, now, how do we check this? First off, in all of that chit-chat, everything aligned. So that's a good start. Take this to plan. And then with that at plan, and we are at, let's go to 20 up here, which is 20 on the outer ring. And let's just make sure nothing is screwed. And we don't have any discontinuities. And right onto the, something didn't look right. Hang on. Yep, see right there. Went from wrench to snow. Hang on a second. Let me take a look at something. Yeah, because what would have happened is possibly we would have gone back. So, yeah. Okay, so wrench, Hyson, snow. Got it. All I'm doing is just wrench is 6.6. Hyson 4.6 to snow. Okay. All right. So we can just do this. Put this down here, pull it up, execute, and then we'll make sure once we get our performance numbers in, everything matches. Now, continuing on, we're going to get our missed approach up to Big Lake, and we would hold up there. Unfortunately, it's not like the Airbuses where it then puts your alternate route over to, in our case, Kenai, in case we had to go there. We'd have to actually set that up. All right, so back to here. Go up here real quick. Put us back to map. We're good to go with the routing. Next up, we're going to do some quick finish up with the overhead and then get our performance in. We're about ready to roll, folks. So, First thing, get this back to position. That's what you all are used to seeing. We're set and we're good there. 3 green, crew oxygen, reversers are off, and everything else looks good. In the middle. Okay, we've already checked them, but the probe heats are on. I'm sorry, correction. Window heats are on. Probe heats are off. Anti-ice, as required. We're not turning it on till at least the engines. Hydraulics, engines on. That's the 2 outers. The 2 inners are your electrics. They are off. All my fuel pumps are off, and we need to begin fueling. That was my bad. All right, payload, we said payload of 16.1. Okay. I know you're all going, oh my gosh, that looks weird. But believe it or not, you get some aircraft loaded like this, folks, in the real world too. All right, so let's go this way real quick. How's our little heavy? Little heavy by about now let's go 3,000 off. So we'll go back to here. We're going to leave it. I'm not going to get too overly stressed. Okay, so 10,083 for fuel.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
All right, so there we go. We'll get that refueled quickly and get our rest of our checks going while we're at it. Okay, trim air. Coming down this final one, trim air is on. Cab controls for the cabin are set to auto. Recirculator valves are auto. Packs are in auto right now, and the isolation valve again is open. Both bleeds are on. Altitude set for 39,000. There's our landing altitude. And coming down into the middle here, everything is set except one thing. We'll check our we're looking at make sure all the bulbs are on.
Ground flight deck fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
All right, we're fueled. All right, so let's come back here, turn that off. Hit this switch real quick. All right, and okay, so there, and then finally, fire checks real quick. All right, now we'll explain these radios in more depth here once we get going. Again, they are very dim. All right, and finally, all right, we've got the seatbelt signs on. We are ready to go. All right, so we're fueled. Let's get the route in and the performance. It's a little tricky here for this one, folks. We'll go back to route. Your perf initialization. Now we were putting on 10,100 pound. We'll put 10.0. We loaded 10.1. Zero fuel, you just hit there. Yay. Let's see, we need, this doesn't put the alternate up there. Okay, so we're 29, so we'll call that 3.0. 0.4. 4.1. 4,100 pounds of fuel we need to be able to make Kenai. Cost 80. We'll try for flight level 390. I'm actually very skeptical. And cruise wind today is a 242. Diagonal 17. Okay, and this is the basics. Now you can get this far, folks, while you're fueling and waiting. I don't recommend going past this till you've got all your numbers where you want them with your fuel and all of that. So let's press on. N1 limits. All right, now how do I plan this? I do it one of two ways. Now, they have a takeoff projector in here. It just doesn't go to page 2 to give you the numbers. And I know that's a lot of work for the performance on this plane. So, what I use is Professional Flight Planner and TopCat. I use Professional Flight Planner, do exactly what SimBrief does, so I get 2 flight plans here in the cockpit. But it gives me TopCat, and we've seen TopCat before. You're about to see it again. It is payware, folks, both of these. I don't know the cost. They're out of Australia, so but they're really good. You can take what you formed over in Professional Flight Planner, export it over here to TopCat. The two work together, and then derive your information. So we're looking at our CGs are here. So TopCat stands for Takeoff and Landing Performance Calculation Tool, right up here at the top. Okay, so we're going to click Takeoff. Once you get here, make sure your airport, well, let me go back. Oh, it's right. We're going to be using 1-4. And then you can look at your runway specs real quick. And then your update. Once it updates with NOAA or Active Sky, I forget all of them you can use. But, well, heck, I can tell you. Active Sky X, FATSIM, IVO, or NOAA. I use NOAA, as you can see. 170 at 4 is the winds. So it gives you all of your data here. Come down here, set up. I'm going to go ahead and go engine and engine wing, just because I'm not sure what's going on in those clouds. Hit compute, and then it tells you that you can run takeoff 2, flaps 1, 57 degrees, set in your select out temperature, and you'll use 6,800. I'm sorry, you'll leave the ground with 6,800 feet of runway, roughly. Will it actually do that? Sometimes, sometimes not. Now, takeoff 1 and this temperature we're putting in. Basically, what we're doing is if we went takeoff, as you see here, with the weight, with the temperature, we could get 97.6% of N1 power on our aircraft. Now, the bigger aircraft can actually go over 100%. So we want to save the big high dollar value on the aircraft, those engines, and very important to the flight, mind you, by pulling that power back, not running them at max power. I don't really have a good analogy for it. I had one in my mind and I went, no, that's really not good. So we just don't want them running at 100%. But if you pull them back a little bit, you're not putting a lot of wear and tear on it as much as you would at 100%. But it's still providing enough power to get you in the air. And then the climb phase, we have climb 1, climb 2, same thing. We're trying to ease the workload on the engines to kind of stretch them out to their overhaul times. Folks, they're very expensive to work on. Very very bad things happen if they don't run, especially in flight. Okay, so we said takeoff 2. Select temperature, we'll go with it 57. And again, you can see right here, there's our V1. That's our safety speed, folks. If anything happens to the engines or we can't fly, we deem the aircraft not flyable, as long as we're at or below 133, we're good. Above that, we have to commit to flight. Rotate speed's the same. V2 is 137. All that is to clear a 50-foot obstacle. N1, which right now is covered up. Let me pull Top Cat away real quick. Right up here, you're seeing your N1. So with us set like that, you can already see we're going to be at 86.5 in this plane. So you can see slight differences between them. Oh, wait, you really seeing me setting it. Let me redo this so you can see what I've done. Hang on. Okay. All right, so you can see the takeoff 2 is set, climb 2, we'll keep that, and 57 on the temperature, 86.5. Of course, the program itself is calling for 85.2. We'll see how we, break down when we get to the next page. Takeoff. Click your CG. So we're looking for 133, 133, 137. Okay, I am going to go over here and put in some numbers here. A lot of people don't go to page 2. Basically, it helps give better numbers for your departure. Wind, 170 at 4. Runway slope here, we're up 0.1. So we go U 0.1 slash, we can also put the heading in, 140. There's our temp, there's our outside, and I leave the rest as is. Go back, hit the trim just in case it changed. We are going flaps uno. All right. 133, 130. I really hate when it bounces like 133, 133, 137. That's not bad, but I'll go 133, 135, 138. We'll go with the numbers they give us. Now, if you don't want to see these numbers that it predicts, click right here and they go away. All right. And folks, the FMC is now planned and set up. We can start the APU. Let's get our altimeter setting. Currently showing 30-01. While I'm doing this, I'll set up the decision heights. Okay. Switch over to here. We're 500, so let's go to 900. Okay. At 900 feet MSL, folks, I can then turn on course. Okay. All right, that gets the basics set. We got our altimeters set. Okay. Lastly, folks, let's get that APU fired up. Okay. And it is spooling up. Hope you've enjoyed that quick startup. And we'll get this thing rolling here as soon as we get the APU on. Okay, it should be down around 4 when it bottoms out here. Just looking for the blue light right here to come on. There it is. Gen 1, Gen 2, we can come off external power. And let's go ahead and start buttoning it up. I really don't like that graphic. It plays with my mind big time. Green lights tell me they're connected, and red lights would tell me they're. So I'm probably backwards from everybody. And then we just got to switch the AC/DC switch up here to APU Gen. And put the bleed on. Okay. That, folks, is the sound of an airplane just about ready to go. All right. Going to set 138 for V2 plus 10. Goes with your kids at home. Good math lesson. 140. And 39,000. Okay, flight director's auto throttle will stay in the off position. Speeds, fuel flow switch has been reset, and minimum set landing gear levers down, 3 green, and thrust levers closed. Takeoff warning and config checked. Idle cutoff on the fuel. Trim will set once engines are going, and we'll get our flaps set eventually for takeoff. All right, and then finally we can go and put our yaw dampers on. If you're not getting a rudder indication, don't care which version you're on, PMDG or this, turn it off. And then turn it on just as you go down the runway. Okay, passengers are aboard. Let's get after it, folks, shall we? Just want to do a real quick check with my ACARS system. Okay, and that is good. We're ready to go. All right, so we are not pushing back, so we will start them up. Anti-collision. That is the third light over. Turn that on. I know. I get it, folks. If you're a private pilot, it's the beacon. Yep. Gotcha. Fuel pumps on. And system B is on. Here we go. All right, now to start the engines, folks, you have to first select your ignition. Again, I use the even odd days. So today is the 14th, even, so we'll go right. Now you could do pilot flying, gets the ignition, pilot not flying, however you want to do it. But then you got to turn the packs off. Okay, and we're ready to crank them. Startup number 2 first. Eielson traffic, reach 18, starting, spot 40. At 17 to 25 and 2, you can put fuel. Move your fuel lever to idle. Okay. As soon as we stabilize, we'll start up number 2. Okay, folks, I'll let you all watch as we start up number 1. All right, folks. Wife had a phone call. She gets priority, so we got to go mute. Real quick, what we did, basically, looking up here, we just went down it. We went once we turned our packs off. We go to ground, build up 17 to 25 on your N2. Once you're there, hit the fuel to idle. Let her build up. Once it gets to where it's stable, switch over and do the same to the other engine. Okay. Once you've got them started, all you got to do, first, click your gens. Make sure you click down so that they turn off. Make sure the APU generator disconnects. Then we go up to the AC/DC switch, either Gen 1 or Gen 2 for the main engines. System A, turn that on your hydraulics. Bring your, if you need anti-ice, which we'll go ahead now and turn on. And then, and it's not liking me for doing this, folks. I can tell you that already. And then you turn your packs to auto, isolation valve to auto, APU bleed to off, and then your APU off, and you're ready to now taxi. Taxi checks real quick, just go to flaps one notch down, and taxi lights on, which will be taxi and your runway turnoffs. You're ready to go, folks. Brakes off, here we go. Eielson traffic, reach 18, taxi to runway 14. And folks, you don't have to have this elaborate, I'm going to taxi on this taxiway and this taxiway through this ramp, over this river and through these woods to get over to the runway. But you do got to take off the chocks. Okay, so here we go. And then I always turn the first officer's timer on, or the one that I'm not sitting on if I'm flying off the first officer's cockpit. The other one. And we're on our way to 1-4. But yeah, folks, I listened to you all and I'm like, you know, it's great, but you are wasting so much because other people may need to move and they're waiting on you to go through the chart, watching each turn, and oh my gosh, I missed this one. I'm going to also use this one. And folks, just say what runway you're going to. We can figure out who you are out here. Less stress out here. Obviously, if ATC is here, what I just said is wrong. ATC's not here. Guess what? Don't have to. Now, the neat thing up here at Eielson, from pictures I've seen of it, and again, all I've seen is pictures, folks. They got a neat hangar that says Red Flag Alaska down in here with all of this stuff for the quick turning and all of that they do for the war that they're having up here. The war game. It's what Red Flag is, war games. And from quick turning to quick arming, rearming, and all of that. Hot pitting the fuel and everything. So basically we play war up here. Even the alert shelters. Alright, we're close enough. Let's do the before takeoff checks. Engine start switches over to continues. Auto brake is at reject. Auto throttle's going on. Landing lights, we'll get those extended. Let's get the TCAS set. And lower ECAM blanked. Alright, that one used to always freak me out, folks. Why do I have to blank that one? If there is a problem, now I don't know if ZIBO will do this, but if there was a problem in real life, it'll punch it up there for you. Alright, do I want to cut in? Cut down the middle. Obviously, we would not be taking off, folks, if fighters are in the hot arm area or D-arm, because we'd take them out. And I wouldn't like to go by an aircraft armed. Okay, final checks. Heading bugs runway. Get the landing lights here in a second. Eielson traffic, reach 18, departing runway 14. Again, keep it short and keep it sweet, folks. Doesn't have to be a long dissertation of what you're doing. Because if you do that, that guy on short final could be waiting to tell you don't take the runway, and you take the runway in front of him before you're done talking. Yes, that's happened to me, folks. And I still land. Hey, we're clear for takeoff, lights on. Alright, let's get the beacons, the wing lights.
Clear for takeoff, please.
Okay.
Cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Here we go, folks. Timer on. Always forget that. Now, instead of going to 40 like most checklists do, I go to 60%. See how that's real easy to verify you're good and set? And toga. Nice and easy off the runway. Do a control check. That's why it did that, folks.
400.
Yeah, if you don't do a control check on these, sometimes, folks, you get that stick that just, or your yoke just cranks hard on you, and you gotta watch it. Know a lot of Sims wish they could get that. All right, let us go ahead and turn on the autopilot. LNAV, VNAV. Okay, after takeoff checks. Auto brakes off. Engine start switches will keep them in continues while we're accelerating. Flaps just past the up position, so they're going up. And landing lights off at 10,000 and barometers set to standard at 18. Welcome aboard, folks. Thanks for flying with us. And we are now on our way to Anchorage. Actually, Elmendorf in Anchorage. Last night when I was planning this at work, I really thought of doing some fun things, making a stop here at Allen, and chose not to because, boy, when I put all of this in it, I went, whoa, this thing just jumped in time, and I don't really, I don't think a lot of people would love to see a ton of approaches at different airports along the way. So we'll kind of do like we did up to Fairbanks, actually to Eielson. We'll catch some approaches at Elmendorf and then bring it in. I think we'll do at least one circle to land or two missed approach, depending, and maybe a couple in the patterns. Beautiful Alaskan territory here. All right, we just hit 10,000. Lights off. Okay, and onward and upward, folks. Hope you're enjoying it. Just because.
The seatbelt sign will be switched off shortly. However, for your own safety, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt loosely fastened in case of any unexpected
I think our door is open.
We have an excellent team on board today, and we are all happy to offer you any assistance you may require throughout the flight. Our in-flight entertainment.
And there you go, folks. Hope you enjoy the ride. See, we are getting into precipitation. That's what I was a little nervous about. I'm going to go ahead for the anti-ice. Okay, we're not in reserve fuel, but we're close. So that's why I went ahead. So we're good there. And, well, folks, we are just climbing away. And, folks, if you you get a good understanding of that reserve fuel alert and how it can be deceptive on your long hauls, Hong Kong to Anchorage, or say Hawaii to Japan, even your East Coast cities to Europe. You'll get sometimes that using reserve, but it's because depending on direction, always check what it's saying. Verify with your charts, because maybe you did put it in wrong, and you need more fuel. But once you start getting to altitude, things change in the aircraft to where it's more, I don't know, I want to use the word efficient, but it's efficient from start to finish. It's just the way the weather conditions change as you're moving cause it sometimes to trigger. All right, we are punching through. Let's see what that looks like. Always love these views. Again, I am looking for X-Plane 12.06 to come out with the cirrus clouds. That ought to be just outstanding to see out here, folks. Plus the pyramid, see if they make any inroads on what they're representing to me. I mean, I fly through them; they're fine. It's just they look weird. There you have it, folks. The C-40 on its way to Elmendorf. Just about to give you a feel for it. This is Allen Air Force Base, or Army Airfield. So you're not a long run. It's just, takes a little bit of time. You're up, still climbing. We'll get to 39, but we're going to pretty much come right back down. Like I said, I'd like to shoot maybe 3 approaches, all to missed approach, but we'll see. So I hope y'all are having a great week. It's hump day, folks. And we're getting over the hump, sliding down into the weekend now. So hope you all have a great weekend planned. I'm actually looking forward to it. I should be off, although it'll be raining here. Much needed rain in the St. Louis area, especially points west of here. Really needed. Wow. Where the drought of California and out in the far west from us were extreme and excessive over the last, many years. Now I think St. Louis may begin to start. We used to have some pretty monster droughts here, and we haven't had one in a long time. So I think the cycle's coming around, folks. Not global warming, a cycle. Cool your jets. All right, so we're back in the clouds. Minus 15 Cs, so we're just making our way up to the top of them. I'm going to take a look at the FMC here. Okay, we will make it by DONEL, and then we're coming down. Okay, we'll see how much we're able to travel before top of descent. Alright, so 49 miles. We'll kind of keep an eyeball on this. We're at DONEL already, folks. Which I would have swore we saw we should have been at 39,000 by now. We'll see how this is going to... Like I said, I am not... As light as we are, I thought we could do this, but I don't know if we're going to make 39 or not without having to go into a hole to get down. Just love skimming across the top of the clouds, folks. I think that's so cool. Now, an interesting thing I noticed this morning or this afternoon when I was planning this flight. Oh, see the short distance here, folks? Top of climb, top of descent. Yeah. So, some airlines, like right now, I am going to go ahead and let them up. And then we'll, that way they can hit the restrooms. We'll even keep it till about 25,000 feet, then we'll re-engage it. I'm going to go ahead for comfort's sake back there. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. Oh, may 58 be better for you all, folks. All right, real quick briefing out the arrival brief. Okay, real quick, here's our ATIS frequencies and other approach frequencies across the top that we could run into. We have no ATC right now, so that's no problem. 110.3 will plug in at top of descent, heading 062. You can see that here. 1,600 feet we got to be at and on the glide path at Sika, and decision altitude is 375 MSL, 200 AGL. Missed approach straight up to Big Lake and hold 3,000 feet, and snow at 2,500 feet or higher, again 1,600 feet at Sika, and then we come in on a 3-degree glide slope for the runway, probably around 743 is my guess. Speaking of, we got to get that too, so we'll have a ALSIF 1 PAPIs on the left for a lighting system. There's the missed approach. Here's your again minima for altitude, 375 MSL, 200 AGL. We need 200 feet and an RVR of 18 or a visibility number of a half mile or greater in order to shoot this approach. Otherwise, we head over to Anchorage for one of the other runways. Okay, let's head over here real quick, get this, get the numbers. Landing 6, dry, wind. Wind is 010, now it's 6, so it's perfect for us now. Temperature at Elmendorf, 12. And barometric is. And we're going to go ahead and put it in as inches of mercury, so 30.09. Okay, flaps 30. Be anti-ice on, brakes 3. Landing weight currently 117. We're estimating in our flight plan. Oh, wrong flight plan. Sorry, folks. $113.1. Okay, and we're going to add 5 next page. All right, so we are looking at 135 for VREF, 130, because remember we did it plus 5, and about halfway down the runway if we do it right. Okay, works for me. Real quick here is we're not going to make it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is hit us at 37,000.
1,000 you go.
Actually, how about I do 36? 37's a good one. No, it's not. Okay, let me plug that in. Get us back down to 36.
$1,000 you go.
Okay, and this way we'll get a little bit of a cruise and then right into it. Okay, so we've already got our numbers put in here, 34, 30, good. Glide slopes on, all right, so we're set for top of descent. What's master caution for? Air conditioning, what's up with that? Okay, so we are getting rid of a sim toolkit here. Got our numbers in here, 30, 134. Top of descent now. Okay, top of descent, 16 miles out. Okay. Like I said, folks, a lot of work on these short hauls. Okay, so we'll set up for let's see, we need to be ruts at 7,000. Okay. And you kind of, here, let me get outside here. Remember I said something about I hope they work on these pyramids? Get a feel for them right here. These aren't as pronounced as you get. I'd like to know what the thought was, if that's just the way the dynamic engine worked on it. So that's, and Cirrus. So we'd have Cirrus maybe up here. I don't know what the actual report is. Okay, so we can begin our descent. We'll just do altitude intervene. Altitude intervene. There we go. I didn't have VNAV on for some reason. Oh, that's because of the VS descent. And then we'll start heading down at a pretty good clip. Approach, folks, real quick for you on the sim toolkit. Okay, so we got to be at HOJOE between 35 and 26. Here, let me just kind of, I've got it overlaid so you can see we're coming over HOJOE right now. Okay, so there's our ATIS, airport elevation, requirements. It is an RNAV. It's planned runway 6. You got to pay attention to that, because if, say, we were planning to land 3-4, this would not be a good approach, because you're not supposed to. They'd rather you come in tight this way. Same thing with 2-4. Look, all of this high terrain. So it's planned for runway 6. And there's cruiser. The MOA is just to our north. Military operating area, that's where you could expect war to be simulated up there. Okay, again, HOJOE 35 to 26. Dexter 11,000 or higher. Tidby 10,000 or higher. Jinx between 7,500 and flight level 18,000. You're all going, why would you be at 18,000? In a fighter? It's not unheard of, because they'll drop and get into the approach pattern. So now, the key though here is Hobbs. We have really hard to read, 10,000 to 7,000. And then Runts, which is what I'm planning, 7,000. So we'll kind of keep an eye out on that one. Okay, coming around to Wrench between 6 and 4,500. There's our Ensign, and then Snow, which is above 2,500 feet. And that's our initial for the arrival. So that's what we're flying right now, folks. Give you one last kind of look at that so you can see. Hope you all enjoy, and looking forward to shooting some approaches down here in Anchorage. We'll see, time permitting, what all we'll put on here. But for now, it's been a pretty good flight. A little shaky takeoff because of the quick hard over, because I didn't do a flight check. If you do the flight control check, especially with these SATEX folks that I have, you'll usually not have that problem. Say usually, it could crop up, you never know. But you should do them in the real world anyway, because there have been you know, if you don't have those gust locks off, folks, I mean, I hate to break it to you. You're not going to turn. You're not going to get that elevator to come up. They don't come up. You don't go up. That's a bad thing when the end of the runway comes up. A lot of ups there, but it's really a big down. And again, the new charts 8, I think we could do this with charts, whatever it was prior to it. I know you with Pro Chart 7 there, look cap. I think they skipped it. So this is kind of nice to be able to see where you are tracking across the chart, even though you're like right now, HOJOE, it's showing you coming over. No, HOJOE was back here. That's what this is saying, not to scale. All right, back into the cockpit. We are through, oh my, it's held at 35. Why did you hold up at 35? Oh, top of descent coming. Oh my goodness. Ooh, we're going to be dropping like a rock here, folks. Let's let it see what it's going to do. I can't wait to see this. This may be spoilers. But again, remember, high terrain's below us, so a lot of this is keeping us above that. Here come the throttles back. Here we go. And again, the computer's doing all of this, folks. All of these nav computers working together to get us that optimum arrival into here. And literally, if this diamond and this triangle are right on there, you're right on what they project. And looking at that chart, I mean, 7,000 is going to be reached after Jinx. Which is fine because we can be above 7,000 at Hobbs. We'll be out of the high terrain then, even though we're supposed to be at least 10,000. So hopefully we'll be able to see and avoid. All right, up here, let's see how things are going. Why are we having? Oh, off schedule. Okay. Sorry, folks, I'm bouncing around air conditioning. Oh. And we're off schedule. We should have been continuing and it held us. Now we're coming down pretty. Let's see how we're coming down. Up 3,100 feet a minute. Good thing is it's holding speed right now. So okay, we're starting to get that descent arc pushing back. You can see that there. Looking for it to be at runs. Okay, let me just doing a lot of things here for the fun of it.
Folks from the flight deck, we've started our descent. Should have you on the ground in about 15 minutes. Want to thank you so much for your company and business, and hope to see you again with us sometime very soon.
All right, there you have it, folks. But you can kind of see that pyramid right there, folks. That's what the talk is, and hopefully that's what they're going to be able to get fixed. All right, so we are really coming down, and all right, altimeter here at Elmendorf. 3007. This is one thing I really wish we could do in Airbus, is preset altimeter settings like that, so when we drop below, all we got to do is hit standard and boom, it's on it. And I don't know if it's just something I'm not doing right or what. You know what, while we're at this point in the flight, see if I can do this right. Go to D-Link. Is it this one? It's this one. And you could do a weather request. That's about all you can do here, folks. That I'm aware of. I don't know how to do the rest. And there's your weather. And then all you got to do is click back to where you want it to be, which for us will be descent. We're through 18,000. And here, all I have to do now, folks, by presetting my altimeter, click and it's there. Not bad. Coming down pretty good clip here, folks. Still looking to be at around 7,000 at Hobbs. Okay, 14,000. Let's see when it's going to want 10 or 250 or 240. Okay, it's beginning to show sign. Oh, there it's starting to show it. Get ready with the spoilers. But again, folks, I hope you've enjoyed the ride. If you have, hey, I would love for y'all to smash that follow button here in Twitch. If you're on YouTube watching this, smash that subscribe button, folks. It's free. Just to gives you an email letting you know either for Twitch when we go live next time, YouTubers when our next video comes out. Also for YouTubers, if you'd like to join us on the live, hey, we'd love to have you. Just drop down, look for Twitch, hit that link, then look in the about to find out when the next flight is and join us. We'd love to have you. So let's see. So yeah, hope to see you all here on the next flight. Tomorrow we'll be back in the airline world. So let you all go look at the about there to find out what we're doing. Hey, we just got below 9,000 feet. Let me get up here and grab those lights real quick. Okay, let me pull off the spoilers. Okay, here we come, folks. And of course, guess what? We're back in the clouds. Okay, we'll set brakes 3, even though we're planning miss, but it is always the option, folks. Something could tell me, land it. You know what I'm saying? Could be something where I don't think we can fly again. We could hit a bird, whatever. So we'll set the brakes just in case. Same thing with the spoilers. We'll have them set and be ready for it all. All right, so we are now down at a respectable altitude again. Now let's get a quick flyby, which many can't do. Oh my, it just disappeared. Okay. I am going to drop one more notch here. I need to know. Hopefully we're not encroaching too much. Any anchorage traffic? Oh, does not appear. And matter of fact, tomorrow, folks, that's the airline we're going to be flying with. So, hope you all enjoy the ride. So, but today we're C-40, we're VSOA, Virtual Special Operations Group Simulated Air Force, flying the C-40. Granted, I know, not the grandiose that everyone likes. You know, the fighters, the bombers, even the Hercules, which I actually thought about flying on this one, but you know, this plane's just so much fun. Okay, let me okay, I'm taking over speed. Get those spoilers armed just in case. Okay. Brakes are set at 3. We are slowing for the approach, which, by the way, I don't have dialed in. Real quickly here. $110.3. And all you got to do is set up here. Okay, and it looks like the ILS is active. Let's getting a little turbulence. By the way, right here is Ted Stevens. We'll be heading into that journey. Meg's, or not Meg's, Merrill right there, and then Elmendorf over here. That looks like we're going to speed brakes.
As we go.
And I got a runway in sight. All right. Elmendorf traffic, reach 18, approximately 10-mile final, runway 6.
2500.
And Elmendorf traffic, this will be for the option. We're going to circle to land, or circle for the option 24. All right, so you know what? Lane's gonna be point. See where that puts us. Okay, we're coming down. Need some nose down. Understand, pattern altitude 1000 for the circle. And basically what you're doing here, folks, is you're fully geared to land so that at a certain point, we're going to head off 45 degrees to the left here. About right now. Probably a little far out. Actually, I think it's more of a 30-degree turn. Okay. And then we basically try to stay within the pattern, folks. And I am, by the way, folks, not an IFR pilot, so I'm probably doing this all wrong. Okay, back to our heading. Okay, and I am going to go ahead and begin our descent. And Elmendorf traffic, right base 24, option runway 24.
1,000.
1,000 feet.
Glide slow. 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 Glide slow.
Minimum.
Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow.
500.
Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow.
Okay, and that was pretty much botched approach,
Glide slow. Glide slow.
but we could land it.
Glide slow.
300.
Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow.
200. 100.
Reach 18 on to go, 24, local climb out. Okay, landing gear off, brakes off for now. All right, we'll head up here and basically we'll set up for another ILS. I'm going to try to hand fly this one. Okay. What is Dorf's 13th? Okay. Yeah, I know my airspeed is way above what I've got the speed bug set at, but what I'm going to do is come up here to switch this over to another monitor. Okay. And then basically fly as best I can.
$2,500.
13-mile arc. Okay. To COSAS and then enter. So Big Lake will make our turn. Okay, this will be the last one. All right, here we go. 13. Is it 13-mile arc? I'm going to have to dig into it. All right, well, we're showing it's 20 miles out. Wow. Okay, well, we'll work our way into the 13-mile DME here. All right, here we go, folks. Getting ready to hit that arc. And I will explain a lot of this on the ground, how I set that TACAN and all up. Kind of a little tricky. All right, 14's good enough. Let's do our best to hold this speed. And at the same time, let's turn to 240.
Attention all aircraft. Moving altitude 3008.
Okay, here we go, folks.
Attention all aircraft. With altitude 3009.
Now I'll just work out to my 13 and then I'll just start working into it and descending. Not too steeply. And yeah, I'm not flying this arc like you would expect, folks, with the RMI. I'm just going to keep it at 13 as best I can. Okay, here we go, folks. Elmendorf traffic, reach 18, turning final, runway 6, full stop. Those brakes set up. It's armed, okay, good.
$2,500.
Flaps full, gear down, cleared to land. Lights on.
Flight slow.
1,000 feet, stabilize,
Flight
Mr.
slow.
Perch on seat 7.
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow.
1,000 feet, stabilize,
Approaching
Mr. Perch
minimum.
on seat 7.
Flight slow.
Minimum.
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight
Oh my
slow.
God, that's Anchorage.
Flight slow. Flight slow.
Whoops. Like, why is this not looking? I mean, everything's looking right, but why is it not looking right? On the needles, and then all of a sudden it dawned on me, that's Anchorage. Nice missed approach. There's our runway. Like, why was there an island? I didn't remember that the last time. Now that looks more like it. All right, now we're final.
5,000 feet, stabilize, Mr. Bridge altitude set.
Minimum.
Okay, firming up on the glide path. And up there we go.
500. 400. 300.
Fly slow. Fly slow.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Knots.
Alright, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over here. Usually I go to the left over here, folks. Today I'm going to go to the right. Oh, I thought I was. That's a closed taxiway. Elmendorf traffic, reach 18's off runway 6 to base ops. Okay. Hey, we're in the blocks. Let me run a quick set of checks here. Okay, and they're set. Come up here. Any ice can come off. All right, we got a shutdown. All right, folks, that was fun. Yeah, we got a little turned around there with that wide circle, which I wasn't doing right, and I knew it from the get-go. We ended up lined up on the 7s at Anchorage. So that's why we made that little dog leg. But anyway, folks, how did I know how to tune in Anchorage or the Elmendorf VO? Let me kind of, as I understand it, okay? Hang on a second, folks. Let me get Sim Toolkit up here for a couple of reasons. First off, how in the heck did I know this? All right. TACANs are not set up the same way, and we can't easily, in our flight sims, set them up to work properly, and most of the sims, they don't work anyway. Hang on, I'm going to get some things behind the scenes set up. So our travelers can get on their way. All right, so let's go back and look at the original ILS we were flying. Okay, so we're coming in from Hyson to Snow, Sika, and then right on in for the landing. Okay, here's the TACAN. Now, what the real world would do is tune in 81X on their TACAN radio. All the TACAN is a, okay, military guys, you can lambaste me all you want, a beefed up ADF or a VOR, but it's not tuned like a VOR. It's basically you home to it. Hope I did it justice. So, Flight Sim World. Now, DCS, if you fly Digital Combat Sim, this probably is the frequency that will work. Okay. Flight Sim, they broke it down into a way to use your VORs. So you would dial in 113.4, which is what I did. And if we come down here, let me get rid of Sim Toolkit real quick. Okay, it doesn't identify them. It is 0.9 miles away, but as you saw on the chart here, that would be about right. Maybe a little far, but you get the point. So what you do then, and what I wasn't doing, okay, your RMI isn't even picking it up. So flying a DME arc would be nearly impossible. It's not picking it up. Now, let me tune in Anchorage so you can see the RMI here work. Hang on, give me a second. 1350. Okay, I told you I was going to talk about this radio. Well, we didn't have time. All right, so we have ILS VOR. How the heck does these work? All right, I'm going to be changing. This is the one that's your standby. Okay, you're all used to that. You punch it, goes to active. Okay, great. Here, it's just below, and I can select it to be a VOR, ILS, GLS, or back to VOR. So 11315. And then all you do, activate. Keeps your ILS frequency down there. Now up here, okay, we're below line of sight, so we're not able to pick it up. But anyway, the RMI did come up on a heading of 210, which, you know what, I'll take a good guess that's about right. Why we're not getting it to pick up here, I don't know. Not really sure. So, but anyway, what you would do, we'll just say this is what we're doing. As it turns, I think it's 10 degrees, you turn 10 degrees, and that'll keep you on that arc. Also, you're obviously watching DME to make sure you're at the correct angles. Turn in a little more, turn in a little less. We blew it all. Don't worry, I knew it was going to happen, and lo and behold, I ended up over at Anchorage. So, all right, folks, so there you go. The fun times of flying a, doing this stuff. And, it isn't, it's fun to get up and do it, but you got to have stuff that's working to be able to do it. And we're on the ground, so I don't know if line of sight's what's getting us from getting any details out of that. One last look. Yeah, that should be picking up. All right, so there you go, folks. We're on the ground here. Let me sign out with Sim Air Force. And disconnect off here. And folks, this has been a blast. We're not going to do any replays because you know what? This was just more of a fun flight down from Fairbanks to here. But we did have fun. That's, the name of the game. When you've had a trying shifts or trying work, or life is just sometimes just being sometimes firing up the sim, firing up the hobby you like just helps ease that stress. So I'm just checking something here at Sim Air Force. All right, they recorded us at 288, by the way. Cool. All right. And get rid of that. And that, I just want to make sure I annotate that. So, but yeah, folks, we are gonna put a wrap on this, and hope you all have a great day. Enjoy always flying for these. And folks, if you're into military flying, now you can do it here on X-Plane, Must Fuss, pick your sim. But really, if you really are into it, you want to get in. Now, mind you, it's digital combat simulator. So while they have a Hercules, don't expect to see 17 anytime soon. They may have one in the works, but don't. As well as an A400. I would like to see B-17s, B-24s, or B-29s in there. The reciprocal for the other side of the battles, as well as more mainstay B-52, B-1, B-2s. But again, it's more geared for the fighter pilots. But that's, folks, if you're really into military flying, where you want to be. Here, all we can do is get you from point A to point B. We can go into combat. We can make parameters of when you're hit and when you're not, and so forth. But it's still fun. Flying this plane around when I fire up the Herc, that's always fun too. So, all right. So, hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday hump day, folks. Weekend's only a couple days out. And you know what? We will see you tomorrow. God bless. Have a great day.